Do we think we can get through this in a half an hour, chat? I think we can. This is Dean Cain, chat. We're going to do some Dean Cain stuff. Look at him. It's Dean Cain and Crowder. Louder with Crowder. He blocked me on Twitter. I always say that because I think it's funny. So here's Dean Cain, famous for being in Superman or Lois and Clark back in the day in the 90s. And also famous for, I think he was the dude that hit Kevin Sorbo in the car in God's Not Dead or something. I think he did a hit and run in that movie. So he's famous for those two things. I don't know about any real hit and runs in real life. So we'll see what happens. So here's Steven Crowder talking to Dean Cain.
But the show was called Lois and Clark. It was.
God, I hope this is low impact.
It was driven by Lois. Relationship, and nobody was jumping up and down going, oh, she's a strong woman, we have to celebrate her as a strong woman. You just did it.
Yeah,
she was. She drove the show, and
that wasn't my fault.
Went without even making a big deal out of it because it wasn't a big deal. It was expected.
Okay, so let's go really quickly hit the Superman right now. This is the news story. This is why we have Dean Cain on.
Audio, please. What do you mean?
Show him your love. Tweet it out. Let people know because you know what I will say. It's not just that he's right-leaning; it's that his observation here is actually very apt.
Yeah.
Yes. So DC
was that the highlight clip because Dean Cain probably doesn't make a lot of really good content for a show. You know what I mean? He's not very interesting. Well, hopefully he's interesting here. Can I just say I love that Steven Crowder is always strapped up and he thinks like it's kind of a joke, but it's just like fucking cringe, right? Always strapped.
This week, that the new Superman is going to be sharing kisses with another. So I guess Tom Taylor is the writer for the comic. He said, the idea of replacing Clark Kent with another straight white savior felt like a missed opportunity. First off, before we go on with anything,
it's Superman.
You understand that Superman is an alien, correct?
Yes. Also, wasn't he the first white savior?
Yeah.
Sorry, sir. That was our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. He's the white savior. Yeah, he's the first white savior. No, he's not.
It's a main guy.
Would you rather him not save people who aren't white? Dean Cain, he's a former...
What? Not save people who aren't white? What does that mean? It's Clark Kent's son, and he happens to be bi. Who gives a shit?
He was a Superman we grew up with, and he's caught a lot of flack for commenting. Here's the thing. He didn't just come out and say, oh, blah, 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 cancel culture.
Right.
He came out and he commentated in a way that I thought was insightful. Sort of like I talked about Gina Carano. She didn't say, liberals are Nazis. She said, look, how do you think that before we got to the point where Jews were being exterminated, and I always repeat this because I feel like she got a bad rap. She said, it started with getting your neighbor to turn on your neighbor. It started with vilifying your fellow.
Can they just not Godwin's Law ever? Can they just not relate something to Hitler sometimes? Just sometimes, occasionally? That'd be ideal.
Countrymen. That's an apt comparison. Dean Cain didn't just come out here and say, cancel culture, rah, rah, Trump. Let me read you what he said, and that's really why I wanted to have him on. He said, this is Dean Cain. They said it's a bold new direction. I say they're bandwagoning. And he pointed to some examples. He said, Robin just came out as bi. Who's really shocked about that one? The new Captain America is gay. My daughter in
the new Captain America is gay? Wait, what? Wait. True slow dog. Is Falcon gay? Wait, is Anthony Mackie's character gay in the MCU? Is that a thing? He's the new Captain America. What? I'm confused.
CW series Supergirl, where I played the father, was gay. He said, so I don't think it's bold or brave or some crazy new direction. If they'd done this 20 years ago, maybe that would have been brave. Brave would be having him fighting for the rights of gay people in Iran where they'll throw you off a building for the offense of being...
My daughter in the CW series Supergirl, where I play the... Wait, was Dean Cain the dad in Supergirl? I didn't actually know that. Is Dean Cain in the Supergirl series? I was unaware. Steve Rogers bi? I don't think so.
Being gay. Why don't they have him fight the injustices that created the refugees whose deportation he's protesting? That would be brave. I'd read that. Or fighting for the rights of women to attend school and have the ability to work and live and...
Wait. Why don't they have him fight the injustices that create the refugees whose deportation it's a systemic. Why doesn't Superman get into systemic politics? It's Superman. He's the most boring. Lily, thanks for following.
Boys not be raped by men under the new warm and fuzzy Taliban. That would be brave. This was, Dean Cain nailed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, what can he not do both? Look, if I'm Superman, the only person faster than you, canon, this is canon, is the Flash because of the speed and the other speedsters, but whatever. The only person faster than you is that. You got time in between punching the Taliban in the face with your superpowers and fixing systemic injustices around the world. You got time to suck a dick and eat a pussy. You got time. I'm just saying. I can make time personally for me to engage in the sexuals in between being a heroic corn for you people. And I don't have any superpowers. And I know it might seem like I do. But in a comic book, he does have superpowers. He can. Why can't he suck dick and licky lickies? Or well, he's not ace, but he's bisexual. Why can't he just enjoy what he enjoys in his downtime? Seems odd. I don't think it has anything to do with his crime fighting capabilities.
I think his point is so right that he has to be canceled.
You know what? Actually, before
that's exactly it.
If you agree with what Dean Cain just said there, not that he just supported your guy. People talk about tribalism. If you agree with what he said, smash that like button.
Yes.
People who are just
smash it,
hit it right now. And I know we should have changed that to Superman as opposed to the Hulk fist. But
well, that's not even a right-wing comment.
No, it's not.
It's just a comment on how ridiculous Hollywood panders.
Is he drunk?
Speaking about all of this wokeism, really excited. Friend of the show. You know him. You love him. We have a clip and a stinger, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Dean Cain, Superman.
Hi, honey.
Oh,
how's it going?
Oh, Clark, I'm so glad you're home. The twins.
That's a gay. That kid's gonna be gay. Everyone knows it.
They're hungry, and Jimmy needs burping, and I've got the Queen of England here for an interview.
The Queen? Great.
Yeah.
My raising kids sure is a piece of cake, isn't it?
Was that supposed to be a real kid? Was Terry Hatcher holding a fake baby that they thought was a real kid in the show, or was that a joke? Was that a? Sorry, I'm not caught up on my Lois and Clark knowledge.
Mr. Cain, it's been too long, sir.
It was a dream sequence?
Yes, Stephen, it has.
Oh, okay. A dream sequence.
How are you, my friend? You're good and you're healthy and you're not in the hospital.
I'm not in the hospital right now, that's true. Where are you? You look like you're in a Colombian drug lord's villa.
I am in my villa in Spain.
Oh,
very
nice.
Oh, very nice.
Places, but I'm not a Colombian drug lord anymore.
Right, yes. You
just played one on TV.
You played one opposite, in Denzel, you played a bad guy in that. Were you a drug lord or were you a thug? I don't know. I don't want to miss.
Thug.
Okay.
Con artist.
Okay. Thug con artist who probably worked with drug lords. Dean Cain, you were trending yesterday on
Can Dean Cain get internet, please?
Twitter, like number 2. And here's the thing. This is why you know Twitter is not the real world. And I just talked about this earlier.
My house smells like
Dean,
bread.
I don't really like just having people on because they say something rah-rah right wing. I thought your commentary was spot on, where you pointed to, look, these are examples of plenty of gay and bisexual superheroes. I'm on a show where my daughter is bisexual, and brave would be protecting the people who are being thrown off of rooftops for being gay. Brave would be you address the refugee issue, would be protecting people whose rights are violated. That creates the refugee crisis. You didn't just go out and say, rah, 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 DC is Hitler, and you still got the shaft. Why did you feel what made you feel compelled to talk about this?
Well, so the reason people are like, shut the fuck up, Dean Cain. Number 1 is it's Dean Cain. Shut the fuck up, Dean Cain. Number 2 is because you bitched about it. You're bitching. Superman's still gonna do Superman shit. Is still gonna do hero things, and is still gonna punch bad guys. That's still gonna happen. None of that is gone. He just kissed a dude, and they're like, hey, look, we're having Superman's son. I don't know. What's his name? John Kent? I don't know his name. He's bisexual. There you go. And we thought we wanted to do something new with the character and just make it more good. Just we don't need another straight guy doing stuff. It'd be interesting to write a bisexual character who still does all the stuff that you're saying you want him to do. So You're bitching about it. They're not gonna not. Do you think that they're only gonna do like bisexual romance stories and never do one where Superman punches dudes in the face with his powerful fists? Is that because that's what the critique means when you say that? That's why people are like, "Shut the fuck up, Dean Cain," because is his name John after the Martian Manhunter but without the apostrophe?
Well, first of all, having played the character, I know a thing or two about the character, and people are sometimes interested in my opinion on that, which is fine. What happened was, I think misleading headlines went out there. Have you ever heard of those before? Where they put out basically what I said, like I was angry that that John Kent, the son of Lois and Clark, was bisexual, which had nothing to do with my response whatsoever. My point was that it's just not
freezing point.
New thing. It's been done, and it's done all the time.
Right.
So that wasn't a big shocker.
They
to
portrayed
me,
it because keep in mind that this character is Superman's son, so they wanted the audience to think that Dean Cain was going, "Hey, no son of mine is gonna be bisexual, not in this Superman household." But instead,
Why does do people think that he's funny, man? I know Dean Cain's laughing here, but he's sort of obligated to laugh at Steven Crowder's jokes. But goddamn, dude, that is just that's like a low bar for comedy here.
the headline could have read, "Dean Cain defends the rights of gays in Iran." That was glossed over.
Should have been that headline. That's the headline I wanted. I would have rather had, because it's more accurate to what I said.
Right. You know, in
But it's a comic book character. None of that actually will address the problem. You're currently in your Spanish villa. Why don't you take some time to help around the Spanish villa needs? You know what I mean? Like, do some activism there. Oh, well, you were Superman 30 years ago and you don't have to be today? I don't know, man. Like, it seems weird to be like, well, I mean, I want my comic book characters to fight systemic injustices. It's like they're comic book characters. They probably will fight some bad guys at some point. I don't know. Like, it doesn't. It's such a weird critique to have on a fake thing that the only thing you know about it is he's bi. Very weird. I don't know anything about Krypton sexualities, to be honest.
in Iran, you would have been
Sorry,
burned alive
Machi.
in a cage just for those tights. They wouldn't have given you a defense.
It's right. I'm getting some nice hate mail from Twitter Iran too, saying awful things. I can't read them all, but sometimes I can, and I don't think they're very happy about that. I said, okay, well, you just go ahead and keep throwing gays off buildings if that makes you happy.
Hey, wait! You're still saying it. You are apologizing, but you're not apologizing for real.
His bad, slightly Middle Eastern, it was like a Pakistani. Like, why? It's not good. It's not a good voice. It's not funny. Like, that made me like cringe in my double corn suit. Not good. Not a good feeling. Please.
Such a fun fatwa. This is. Why do you think, though? I mean, when you were working on Lois and Clark, look, I think it's as simple as this. I was a kid, with all due respect. I referred to it as the Terry Hatcher Show when I was a kid.
You should.
Yes, I should have. And I'm quite certain that most girls my age referred to it as the Dean Cain Hour. It was as simple as people looking at beautiful people, and I have no hope of looking like that. No one in this room, which is why we became comedians. And that was okay.
Comedians? I forget that he thinks he's a comedian. I forget that. Yeah.
Okay. Were they as obsessed with non-issues like this and representation back then?
You know, I don't think so, because the internet was in its infancy, so we didn't hear so much about it. But the show was called Lois and Clark. It was The New Adventures of Superman. I mean, It was driven by Lois and a relationship, and nobody was jumping up and down going, "Oh, she's a strong woman. We have to celebrate her as a strong woman." You just did it.
Yeah,
and she was. She drove the show, and it went without even making a big deal out of it because it wasn't a big deal. It was expected. No, it was a little different time back then, but I'm sure had it been, the age of the internet, they'd have found 900 things that we did wrong. And I'm sure now that it's on HBO Max, they'll find some awful, sexist, terrible stuff in it. That's just
Wait,
sort of the way
is it on HBO Max?
Yeah, so it's airing now on HBO Max, and a new generation of kids and families are discovering it. I love that.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm a you know this, of course, I'm a Christian, but if it's on HBO Max, that's a way around my accountability blocker. Mr. Cain.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means at all. Yeah, I guess they're just here to advertise. Does anyone understand that joke? I don't watch enough Stephen Crowder for the inside. Dean Cain was the only problem with that show. It's a fine show. It's schlock, but it's fine. I'm not mad about it. I don't think Dean Cain does a bad job in it. I don't even not like Dean Cain the actor necessarily. He's certainly better than Kevin Sorbo as far as his acting skill is concerned, right? But I guess it was a joke. I have no clue. They fundamentally misunderstand like what the problem is with. When someone says something fucked up in a show or they get canceled or whatever, it's not like about it's not about the how do I even say this? It's about how you respond to it, not that you did it, I guess, right? Like if you 30 years ago were a big racist and then someone goes, "Wow, you were a racist." And then your response is, "Don't cancel me, loser. It was cool at the time." It's like, just be like, yeah, I wouldn't do that today. I definitely did that at the time, but I've learned a lot. You know what I mean? That's it. That's the whole thing. That's like as easy as that gets. You don't have to say sorry, right? You don't have to. You could, depends on what it is, but you don't have to. Like I've definitely said edgy shit in the past that I wouldn't say today because I am less ignorant than I was. That's fine. It's okay to not be perfect forever. I don't think anyone's going to go into Dean Cain's fucking Lois and Superman catalog and start nitpicking it apart for its problematic aspects. And as far as the representation thing, just because Terry Hatcher was there, yeah, it's a woman, sure. But there are other ways of representation. Not that you need to. I think the right wing thinks you need to check every single box, and definitely corporations think you need to check every single box. Have you watched a commercial lately? I watch sports, and that's the only time I watch commercials. Every single commercial is now corporatized, sort of they go out of their way to make every couple interracial or gay or something. So I can understand yeah, there's this corporate sort of rainbow capitalism thing happening, which I find icky, but in general, a show that just wants to tell a story, whatever characters make sense. And oftentimes if it's a realistic, especially slice of life stuff, it makes sense that there's not just straight white dudes and straight white people all around. You know what I mean? That makes a ton of sense. You seen the latest LGBT positive military commercials? Yeah, and it makes me sick. Fuck the military. We run ads for the military in this country. Isn't that wild shit? I just think that's wild stuff. I mean, I know a lot of places do too. Russia definitely does it. But, I don't know. It's just icky to me. Everything. But not because they're including people, because they're exploiting the inclusion of people to get you to buy and consume. You know what I mean? Yeah, on this website they do it. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, whenever you're forced to watch an ad, if you are somehow like Neo in the Matrix dodging gifted subs, I'm sorry you have to watch those ads.
Oh boy.
Mr. Cain, you're breaking up a little bit, and I appreciate you came in last minute from Spain. So I'm going to let you go because we can't really hear you, but I appreciate it, and we'll keep talking about you here once you're gone. Let's have you back once you're stateside.
We'll keep talking about you once you're gone. Nothing Dean Cain likes to hear more than that shit.
Sorry, Dave. I know that you wanted to get some questions.
I did.
We couldn't. It was
Superman.
too tough. Look, the guy last minute came in from Spain.
I know, from his villa in Spain.
Yeah, that's a
You have
nice
any idea
villa.
how many women are there consensually, most likely? Lois and
Consensually? Why did he... We assumed it was consensual, I think at least, until you said consensually, and then it got weird, right? Most that was weird. How many women there are consensually, most likely, implying that Dean Cain sometimes has non-consensual mistresses come to his Spanish villa? Huh. Yeah, that got weird. You shouldn't have said anything like that. What a weird, awkward dude. If I'm Dean Cain, I'm mad about that last comment, right? What the fuck?
Clark was really the first It was the first Superman iteration where they led with I didn't even think about the woman's name first, but it certainly was 50-50, and that's what they put a great emphasis on Lois and Clark. And Terry Hatcher kicked ass. And sure, Terry Hatcher was gorgeous when I was a kid. She was one of my early crushes back then. And no one really thought about it. They was just, oh yeah, Lois and Clark. Good.
Yeah.
We want to see the story of Lois and Clark, professional working woman,
Right.
and a guy who was a super. But she was always smarter than him in the show. I remember that.
Well, it was
in
the first
Terminator,
one.
Terminator 2, even before that, like
Sarah Connor?
Yeah, Linda Hamilton
Yeah,
played
she
a
was
very
good.
strong role, but nobody made a big deal out of it.
Bro, this is like the point, though, right? Like, oh, God, the fact that you keep bringing up the handful, Ellen Ripley, the fact that you keep bringing up the handful of like strong female characters in what would be typically like a man action show is like so weird. It's such a weird thing to think about. Like, the lefties don't consider this. The only time that it happens is when we go, wow, there sure is a lot of straight white people in this. Like, then you go, wait, what the fuck? And you look at it and it's very one note. And that's like, and not everything has to be that like Squid Game, for instance. There was like one guy who wasn't from Korea there, and I don't know that any of them talked about their sexuality at all, except one. I guess there was one like mini sort of relationship. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the sexualities or genders of any of those fucking people were, but it wasn't about that, right? Not everything has to be always checking boxes, and no one on the left wants that. It's just that like sometimes you got people, and oftentimes I think it's very interesting. Like, just take cues from your actors, right? Or take cues from like the writers in the writers' room writing the characters. Like, what do they want to write about? Would they have an interesting story that would involve the sexuality? If not, how does it inform the character, right? Is it just about inclusion? That can be cool too. How does the actor or actress feel about that? That's cool too. Like, and just try to like build a story. I don't know. Maybe this is my D&D speaking, but I really let the players sort of inform the setting. In the same way, I feel like any creative endeavor, you'd let everybody involved sort of inform it, and it just sort of naturally grows into whatever the characters are. Unless you're like adapting a work or something, like a book or something. But you know. I really don't know. Like, I don't know what they think the left thinks about when we create stuff, but it's not like, at least for me, I certainly don't go, I have too many straight white people, like in my D&D setting. I'll be like, well, what about this character? What makes sense here? And I'll be like, oh, it makes a lot of sense that this, like, a great example is Critical Role season or campaign 3 that just came out. Talison's character, if you don't know anything about this, I guess I'll show you a character. I will show you Taliesin Jaffe's campaign 3 character. He's really cool. Taliesin is, and let me see, Ashton Critical Role. It's just a really cool character concept, right? And I'll pop this up. So this is Taliesin Jaffe is a voice actor. He's been in a million things, but he also has a critical role. This is an Earth Ganassi, and his skin and everything is made of like emeralds or stone or whatever. And cracks in his skin are filled with like gold. So he has like scars. Like, this is how he scars. So this is a really fascinating idea for a character, right? Taliesin has decided that the pronouns for this character are he, they, and it makes a lot of sense. Like, culturally, maybe there's a little bit of like, you know, not as much, I don't know, cultural impact on gender in a place where Earth Ganassi exists, and also just how it works out. And then there's also Sam's character, Fresh Cut Grass, which is a robot, which also, it's a robot. He uses... Sam uses he and they for Fresh Cut Grass as well, which is a cool character idea, right? It makes a lot of sense. Why would this bundle of parts have like a gender identity, unless you wanted it to, of course? But like, it makes a lot of sense. Like, oh, okay, they that works, yeah. And so it's just like, let the character inform it. It doesn't have to be forced. It could just be like nice. And then there are just standard, you know, like I don't know. Like, a lot of characters are just like, he, him, she, her. Like, it's not, I don't know. It's not this, like, forced thing. And they're, like, incredibly lefty people. It's pretty weird to be upset about. But anyway, I guess we'll finish the last little bit of this Crowder video. They're not going to say much.
Yeah. Like, it was just, okay, good. So. She's protecting her son. That's fantastic. Go for it.
Go back to Lucille Ball owning half of Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But
Well.
they did sleep in separate beds. There is a line, Steven.
And he did give her some fresh ones.
I was going to say, yeah, she owned a lot of ice packs.
Yes.
She held a lot of peas to those,
tell you.
successful eyes.
Yeah.
Are they making fun of Lucille Ball being abused? Is that the joke? Is the joke that Lucille Ball got beat? And they're like, that's funny. Huh. Fascinating. Wow. No, I'm not going to play that. It could be a spoiler for the episode. I don't want to do it. It just came out, so. Wow.
Look,
But no, I was gonna say though, with that show too, is the first one that ever showed that the main point of the show was a relationship between a man and a woman.
That was the first show that ever did that.
And it was just led by a woman. Where if you look at like the old George Reeves show, it was just a guy who was mostly drunk and a little overweight, just trying to like stop a train.
Yeah,
like that was really it. Like there was really
belly.
like Superman's not that interesting. It was the first person. It was the first time besides the movie where it had taken it to a new level.
right. Well, you're right. That's why the kryptonite became such a big thing. It's
It had
he's
to.
too he's too flawless. But then the problem is with Superman, it's two extremes.
Right. Yeah.
We end up with either completely invincible or more useless than your next neighbor, Art.
Didn't George
because
Reeves?
you wear a crystal bracelet.
Yeah, because you're like, look at my mood ring. Oh, I was like, oh, what? Aren't you Superman? No, take off the mood ring, girl from my girl.
Dude, he's just so incredibly unfunny, man. Like, constantly unfunny. It's nuts. Oh, I would really enjoy a version of Steven Crowder that wasn't insufferable. Does that exist? Is there a version of Steven Crowder that isn't just terrible out there? You think so? Think, guys? Well, I don't know. I really don't like doing Steven Crowder content, but well, it happens. So I guess we'll see next time. There's no real takeaways from this one. There's no reason to recap that episode. They talked to Dean Cain for a second, and then they made bad jokes about stuff. Wow. All right. Well, I love your faces.